Ahluwalia on the airwaves of Fun Asia Radio 104.9 FM. A very good morning to you, Pallavi. How are you?
Very well, Neetu. How are you doing? Glad to be here, part of Your Business Matters show every Wednesday, and glad to be able to talk to the community and to be hopefully answer all their questions.
And people have been patiently waiting for you, so let me quickly go to the call straight, okay?
All right, perfect.
All right. I think we got disconnected, but please call me back. 972-235-5555. Number in the studio. Going to our next caller. Fun Asia Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question to Pallavi, please. Fun Asia Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please. All right. Fun Asia Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yeah. Hi, how are you?
Very well. How are you?
Hello. Good. I filed for my daughter. My other daughter and my son filed for my one daughter. She's in India. Her family filed before in 2004. Her both sons were less than 21. So that the other, what is that law? They were both called for interview. But unfortunately, one's grandson is married. Recently, before getting, they did call for interview on August 8th. They had a medical also done. But can this married son, grandson can be included in my daughter's family?
Yeah, so the way to define a child is somebody who's under the age of 21, or if they qualify for the Child Protection Act, which deducts the length of the I-130 that was pending from the age of the child at the time the visa is available. That would be a child, but he has to be unmarried to get that benefit. So
he's married, so he will not be. He will not be included in?
Yes, he will not be. He will not be.
But the thing is that the case was late because of our attorney. We have attorney from Indianapolis, Indiana. She filed the affidavit of support is filed, making mistake, and because of that it's late. And then the interview was August 8th, and he's married in May 1st.
Oh my God! So just recently got married.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, yeah, that was a close one because he could have just postponed that wedding for a little while to be able to qualify for getting this benefit, and then got married later on and perhaps be able to also sponsor his spouse. But at this time, he does age out if he gets married before that once he's been interviewed.
So can he go for interview because it's not that they are going to say clearly that he is married, and then when you will go for interview, but he would not be included at all. Right?
Correct. So at the time, yeah, first of all, he has to, and that's a very, very good thing that you are stating, that he has to state what his current status is, which is married or unmarried, and it should be stated correctly, because we get a lot of problems later on when people have, lied at the time to get that green card, and then later on they get stuck because they can't sponsor their family members because they are stuck to what they had written in the immigrant visa application as well as what they had said in the interview. So yes, he has to be truthful. Unfortunately, this would put him out of the loop here, and he may not be able to enter the country unless, again, I haven't looked at all the papers, unless there was something that was set up before and this was just a mere formality, and then he may be allowed to get that. If the interview was done prior to his May 1st date and all the paperwork was submitted, then perhaps that may work. But if it wasn't, then he's going to have a hard time.
No, before that May 1st was the paperwork was submitted, no?
Okay, yeah. So they look at it from the time of the interview up until he gets his green card. But again, I suggest not making any incorrect statements at that time, because that will
No. They will not lie. They will say correct whatever thing happened, no? Oh, see, sometimes these cases, this type of case is accepted. Sometimes because our whole family is coming, you accept him.
Yes, I understand, and that just puts a wrench in the plan for sure. But yes, and this was very, very close, because this is just a difference of a few months, and it could have been prevented. But I don't see the government on a discretionary basis making that allowance. But again, I mean, once that interview happens, let's see what goes on in this case. I'm sorry to hear that it was delayed by someone, that you could have just done this in a proper fashion earlier. But at this time, I think you'll just have to go in for that interview and see what's going on.
All right.
Okay, sure.
Thank
I
you.
may come to you and ask your help. No, please, I need to.
Sure, I can review the documents to see what we can do or what we can suggest. But from what you're telling me, the answer would be that I don't think we can suggest anything different from what I'm saying on to you here.
Yeah, sure. No, this is legal because the complication. I don't want to bind anybody. But thank you for helping me. This is good advice, no? Thank you.
Right.
Okay,
Thank you so
All the
much.
best.
Thank you so much for your call. And sir, if you need that number, 972-361-0606. That's how you can get in touch with Pallavi and her team beyond the show. Going to our next caller, Fun Asia Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yes, I'm an Indian citizen. I currently have the green card, and based to my marriage, and I'm eligible to apply for the citizenship because it is a little bit over 3 years. Now my question is, I have a non-bailable warrant against me in India, and how would that impact my application to the citizenship or getting the naturalization done in US?
Okay. What kind of a criminal matter is that related to?
It was the ex-wife filed a false 498A and 406-506. It was the false dowry case and all. It is still going on in India.
Okay. Is it being contested? So it was.
Yes.
So it's a charge, but it's not been decided yet, right?
No, it is not has been decided yet. It is just we have a current stay on the case at the moment, and it's been going on from last 4 years. But because I was not able to attend the court has issued a non-bailable warrant, and I haven't been to India since then. So the charge has not been decided yet, and it is still under the review, and the case is on stay at the moment.
Okay. All right. And so there are some questions that pertain to if you were ever charged with anything, and I think you will have to declare that. Now, the impact of that may be that they hold at abeyance your N400 and don't adjudicate it till it's resolved. So I would counsel you to resolve that and get that taken care of and have that charge dismissed if possible, and then move forward with this application. Otherwise, you will be stuck in a queue that they will not, so it basically goes into a black hole, and there's only an X number of inquiries that you can keep doing to make that application move.
So, it would rather to wait because my green card is still good for the next 10 more years. So it is advisable to wait than, apply
yes,
right
I
now.
would just resolve this issue that you have currently going on.
Okay. All right, no problem.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you for your call. 972-235-5555 number in the studio. And yes, you can give us a call. This is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices. And if you have any question related to employment and family-based immigration matters, family law, corporate law, or civil matters, you can give us a quick call here in the studio. Going to our next caller. Fun Asia Radio, you are live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Hi, good morning. I have a question regarding my H4 EAD. I just applied for my H4 EAD a few days ago, but my spouse's employer is downsizing, so she'll be laid off in October sometime. So what will happen to my application if she gets a new employer or gets a H1 transfer?
Pallavi, for some reason your voice is breaking up. Let's try that again.
Okay. All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Can I speak now?
Yes,
All
yes.
Right. So let's ask the caller. Can he hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes, now we can. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Go ahead.
All right. So the point that I wanted to make here is that sorry, Mitu?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly. Go ahead. Hello, Pallavi? Ahluwalia back on the airwaves.
So sorry about that. I had
No
a drop in
problem.
the line. So, and I'm going to answer the question that we had last,
Yes.
which was if there is a layoff and there is an EAD that is based on an I-140 that was approved for a spouse that is pending, what will happen to the EAD? If the EAD process does not get an RFE or ask for the current status of the employee, then it would go on parallelly just as a process. So what would be important is that before October, for your spouse to be able to get that H1 transferred, and everything would be seamless. So the point is to make it seamless, because if the current employer lays her off and gives a revocation or a withdrawal of the H1B to USCIS, that will later cause a mess, because then it will flow down or filter down to your EAD. So at this point, there may not be an impact till there is a withdrawal, but if it is seamlessly transferred, then there should not be an issue.
All right. I hope the caller got his answer. We'll go to the next call and see if he's still there, or we'll move on possibly if he isn't. All right. Going to our next caller, Financial Radio. You're live on the air. Yes, go ahead and ask.
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call.
No
I have
problem.
a
Go ahead.
question. I was adopted when I was 3 by my aunt, but it was never like a legal document. They just adopted me like they took back home. And they raised me, and they were like my parents, but it was never legal. If I want to apply for the immigration, can I do that?
Yeah, so the government here would look for, so it would be a parent that is either it could be a step parent, it could be an adopted parent that you could apply for, or your biological parent, but you have to have the legal documents. So if they were not legally done, and it was just done, and I know earlier it used to be just done by an affidavit in India, and there was not a court procedure that was involved, and that would not be acceptable to the government here.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay,
basically,
thank
if
you.
the birth certificate
So I don't think
doesn't
it
have
will be
their name, it's
possible.
gonna. Yes. So it has to be a legal document that has to show that those are your parents.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you for your call. 972-235-5555. Number in the studio. If you have any legal questions, you can call and get your answers from Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices. To get in touch with her for appointments, you can call them at 972-361-0606. ahluwalialaw.com is the website to go. Pallavi, is there any update on the legal front? Do you want to share something with our listeners here?
Sure. I had actually invited Zohar here from Immigration Voice to come and give us an update. I know there has been a lot of action that is going on from them. They're trying to get the community involved to making Congress people so that they would get that HR 213, get support for that from the Congress people as well as from the senators. And I know this has had bipartisan support so far, but this is a House of Representatives bill, and right now I think Immigration Voice is looking for help from people that are suffering backlogs. This particular this bill, which is HR 213, seeks to remove country cap from employment-based cases. So if people are, you have the 7% that everybody shares in the total number of immigration visas that are given, the immigrant visas that are given. And India, because it has so many people here, has been facing those severe backlogs, which has backed up cases for EB2s as well as for EB3s. So this is an effort to remove those country caps, and this will benefit a lot of the Indian people that are here in line. So I'm asking everyone on behalf of Immigration Voice to be involved. Just make your calls. You don't really have to contribute except some time that you can give to this organization, because they are trying to reach out and do the best they can for the people that are waiting in long queues. So that being said, and Voice to be involved, just make your calls. You don't really have to contribute except some time that you can give to this organization, because they are trying to reach out and do the best they can for the people that are waiting in long queues. So that being said, and that was just my announcement to get the community involved and to get them to make a difference in what they want to see the change. So be the change that you want to be, right? Now, here is another update that I have, Meetu, and this is about the entrepreneurial international rule that has been published. It's a proposed rule, and it will be open for comments for after 60 days. And after 60 days, looking at all the comments that the government has received, it is right now at that NPRM stage, which is that the notice has been given in the Federal Register. And it is, if you have to look for it, and this is for people that are, have questions about bringing in someone from, from abroad, and they want to come and invest here, look at the International Entrepreneur Rule. That's what it's going to colloquially be called. This is going to allow people that are entrepreneurs to come into the country based on a qualified investment of at least $345,000, and they would require qualified investors that are either U.S. citizens or green card holders. So this is a little bit of a twist on the rule. So the twist is not that just that you're bringing in money from abroad. Of course, you have to be the majority shareholder and you have to be involved in the operations, but it requires investment from U.S. citizens or green card holders in this country, and which is a good fresh perspective, because I see a lot of people here who want to bring in family members and they want to contribute here as well. And this rule does allow you to do that. It has to create jobs. It cannot be marginal. And I mean, we can go over the details on this rule if people have questions for me. But it is going to be something new. It's not going to be easy, as nothing is with the immigration. But it is something that must be considered. It will not give you a green card status at the end, but it will give you a parole into the country.
Sounds excellent and a very useful information there. And if they want to find out more about it, is there a website that they can go to, or maybe just give you a...
So definitely, I have a little blog that goes on for any news onto our website, which is aluvalialaw.com, or just easily yourdesilawyer.com, and there will be an article on that. Otherwise, just look for the international entrepreneur rule. That's what it's called.
All right, got that. All right, let's move on to our next caller. Fun Asia Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Hello, Pallavi, this is Zohair from Immigration Voice.
Hi, Zohair. I just made an announcement for you. But I'm glad
I was able to hear that, so thank you very much. So, Pallavi, I just came from Washington, D.C. yesterday night, and there is tremendous amount of energy, a lot of new people, and you won't believe that I met a person who has come to the country in 1998, and he still does not have the green card.
Oh my God, now isn't that crazy? Because obviously this person has maintained status, has been working for so far, right? Is this an employment-based case that is pending?
That is correct. So he said he lost the count of how many number of H-1B extensions he has done and how many number of green card labor he has done, because he had to keep moving around, and it is just unfortunate. So here is the thing, we had about 80 delegates, and if you see congress.gov and HR 213, we have a sudden spurt of 13 co-sponsorships on that congress.gov website. So everything looks positive. Whether the HR 213 will pass or not, there is some, Congress takes a lot of time to change, but we learned a lot. We also learned about, how some bad Apple companies and how some bad attorneys are conspiring, and how they conspired to kill EAD for 140, and there is something you already know about it. And there will always be bad apples in every field. But the summary is, we are doing a great amount of work right now. Even as I speak, there are still some more people in DC. There will be 100 meetings today. We had 125 meetings yesterday. And I personally went to Congresswoman Eddie B. Johnson's office over there. I went to the DC office of Congresswoman Eddie B. Johnson, met the chief of the staff. So if something has to happen, it has to happen by December. And we are all very optimistic. If not, well, there will be another Congress to deal with.
All right. Okay. Great job there, Zohair. Thank you for doing this. And this is for everyone else. Zohair is a U.S. citizen already, right, or has applied for his citizenship. So he does not require this, but he's doing this tirelessly, I'd say, involved on behalf of other pending immigrants to the U.S. And I think if it's your case that's been pending, I think it's time that you get involved and just make a difference.
Thank you, Ahluwalia Law Offices, and
Thank you.
I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Of course. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you so much, Zohair, on the behalf of Fun Asia Radio and also, of course, the community here. And Pallavi, that's pretty much all the time we have today. Any final words for our listeners here?
Well, I'll be back next week for sure, and hopefully we'll be able to take more calls. We did have a technical issue for a bit, but thank you. And you can listen to the questions and answers from today on our website, which is ahluwalialaw.com. The recording should be up by tomorrow at the latest, today evening at the earliest.
As always, do want to say a big thank you to you for doing this for the community. Thank you and have a very good day, Pallavi.
Thank you much. Bye-bye.